Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Flourish and Faith podcast. My name is Katarina.
And my name is Tiffany, and we're so excited that you're here joining us for today's episode.
Yes.
Here on the Flourish and Faith podcast, we inspire and encourage Christians to live out their lives and flourish in faith.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be just catching up with each other and with you guys on what is happening and what has happened in the last 2 weeks of our lives.
Yeah.
We had our last 2 episodes were talking about answering your questions, Q&A questions we asked you guys, and that was actually really fun. We went pretty deep in some of these questions.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for our new episodes. I actually missed recording with you, girl.
I know. It's been a little bit, but I'm glad we're back.
Me too. This is awesome.
Yeah.
We are just really enjoying the ride of podcasting. Whoa, who are we?
I don't know. This is episode 8, so
what?
This is pretty crazy.
8?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so proud of us.
I was just about to say that.
I am so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm very proud of us.
Me too.
We've done good. And I hope you guys are enjoying it, the podcast itself and the YouTube videos, and yeah.
Yeah, we're really enjoying it, and I just can't wait to see where it goes. It just makes me really appreciate that we both listen to the Lord and we just started, at the right time is really what's most important, because you can start at any time, but it has to be the right time. And that's really what it is growing and learning how to faithfully trust him, even if he says you can start, but not yet,
So, and trusting him in the details,
for sure.
Because he's handling all the details that we don't see. But yeah, his timing is definitely best, for sure.
Yes, it is. So we're going to get into just letting you guys know about us and what's been happening.
Yeah.
So for me, I was actually in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. Right around this time, I was in Atlanta, and I actually went to a conference.
Ooh.
It was actually really fun. It was one of my first conferences I've been to in a long time, because of the world and everything happening in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So this was awesome to just get back into it. There's such a atmosphere of expectation that happens when you go to conferences, and everyone's kind of got that energy of feeling like, man, they're waiting for something to happen. Yeah. There's a huge atmosphere of expectancy whenever I've gone to conferences, and that's something that always comes up as a theme in most conferences is looking forward, looking ahead, and embracing the now and looking forward to the future. And so the conference theme was expect the unexpected. Right?
That's good.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
So I went. It was the Heart of Dating conference. And this was a conference that is specifically for Christians who are single and ready to mingle.
Oh,
So that was including myself and my 2 friends. So we went, and my 2 friends drove. I actually flew because your girl does not drive. Long drives are not my thing, okay? But so I flew, and that was just fine with me. It was very cold, okay? I'm from Florida, and I went into a very cold time of year. It's, I guess, technically still winter.
Yeah.
Going into spring.
Right.
So it was literally 28 degrees, girl, with wind.
Wow. Yeah, you're bold.
Not the whole time. It was just at night that it got really cold. But I was layered up and booted up, okay?
She was prepared, okay?
I knew. I took the weather a month in advance because I knew it was probably going to be cold. Yeah. And it was high 50s, low of 30s.
Listen to the low, okay? Don't be trying to go with the high.
No, because the daytime was nice. It's still cold for me because, 50s is cold for me. But
yeah.
But when you're bundled up, you're oh, wow, I feel a little hot now. So you got to take off your jacket. You got layers on. You can't take off. So you're sweating. There's a bunch of people in the venue. And it was so fun, though. It was so fun. I actually didn't mind getting dressed up and looking cute with my winter clothes. So that was
nice to do it every now and then, you know? Yeah.
And kind of switch up and get a change of scenery and atmosphere. And Atlanta is such a really cool, young city. And I got to eat some good food, you guys. You already know that Southern comfort food is on another level. So I had to go check out my favorite restaurant in Atlanta, which is Louisiana Bistro. If you know, you know. And listen, that food, next level. Oh my gosh. etouffee. I had shrimp and grits. I had, you name it, just, ooh. I had fried okra. So good.
Okay.
Banana bread pudding.
You lived it up.
I really did, you guys.
Good, I'm glad.
The calories were definitely up there, but it was worth it for me. So, but yeah, other than all that. The food. You know what I didn't do? I didn't go shopping. There was no time to go shopping.
Oh, okay.
There was no time. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I was busy, meeting people and making new friends. So we listened to some amazing speakers. I got to meet some people that or listen to people that I've never heard before. JP Pacludo was there. He is known for having a huge young adult ministry. He had like a ministry of young adults that he pastored, and there were like thousands of young adults. He grew from like a couple hundred to thousands.
Wow.
So he's very, very popular, and I believe he pastors a church in Waco, Texas. We like Waco.
We do.
Right?
We're going to take a girls trip. Join the Gaines. If you're listening, we want to come see you.
We would love to meet you, girl. Yeah.
Magnolia, we're there. Okay.
For sure. No. So he actually lives and pastors there, and he's an amazing guy, amazing husband, everything. And I saw Michelle Williams, Riley, is it Cummings is her last name? What's her last name?
I'm not sure.
I forgot. Sorry, Riley. But Riley with Courage is her her handle on
right.
Instagram.
No, it's kind of,
That's
people
all I
by their
know.
Instagram names now. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, so she's awesome. She spoke with such passion. But most importantly, the Holy Spirit was moving. People were getting healed. People were getting free. There was freedom in the room. A lot about freedom from depression, loneliness, confessions in the right way was done in intimate settings and circles. And worship was another level. Then this is when Asbury was being it was happening. I mean, it has been happening, but it was being talked about even more. So there was that spirit of just man, I don't know how to explain it.
It's encouraging.
It's so encouraging.
It's contagious.
Thank you. That's exactly what it's contagious, because people were talking about what's going on, and it was happening right around the time 2-3 weeks ago. So it was just awesome, and the church was amazing. Story Church. Shout out to Pastor Sam and Tony. They're incredible people. Sam and Tony Collier, and I wonder. Oh my gosh, I can't even the. Host of the conference, Kate and JJ Tomlin. You guys are amazing. We love you.
Yeah,
you guys are amazing.
Really awesome. They have a podcast as well.
Heart of Dating podcast. Yeah. I actually found out about the conference because my friend, she told me that she was thinking about going, and it was at your birthday party actually when she told me. So she told me, and I was like, man, I like conferences, and I actually feel like that'd be something really cool and a good opportunity to meet people. You know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. I just winked at the camera. If you're listening, I winked at the camera. Sorry. But yeah. So anyway, other than that, besides, of course I wanted to meet people and everything, but that wasn't the only reason why I went. It was really to just learn how to date while being a Christian.
Right.
A Christian woman, and really just learn just whatever I can and soak up everything that I really don't know. I mean, I really haven't, like we talked about in our earlier podcast.
Right.
I've been chilling, and just waiting, and I don't know if I put myself out there like that. So it was kind of cool for me to understand some more things that I needed to hear, some nuggets, and I want to share them with you guys. If you want to
please share.
So I learned how to be patient with myself. I learned how to not expect things out of other people that I'm not willing to bring and to actually bring to the table, right?
That's good, yeah.
So I needed to let go of expectations. This was a big thing, and make sure that whatever I'm hoping for in person, I'm actually becoming.
Right.
And learning how to really, the emphasis was always, and we hear this, but sometimes we gotta hear from other folk, okay? Especially in a conference, right?
Right.
In this atmosphere. And I heard so many times over and over again, love yourself, get to know yourself, and really get to know who God has made you to be, and focus on what God has called you to do. Focus on your assignment. Because you won't know who to look for if you don't know what your assignment is. Or you won't know how to position yourself as a woman if you don't know what your assignment is. And especially if there's a man watching or men listening right now, like if you're going to be looking for a woman, you need to know what your assignment is. Have that vision that God has placed in your heart for your life and where to lead and guide a woman of God. And once you both are working on yourselves, that's when you're like, oh, hey, like, oh, you working on this too? Oh, man, let's do this together.
Right.
Like,
it's a partnership. So that totally makes sense. That's good.
So that is what I learned. And really just embracing the progress while I'm waiting on the promise.
Hey, good.
So
that's good.
Let that just marinate for a minute. Let it breathe.
Think about that for a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm excited for what's to come, and I'm going to continue to pursue my dreams, pursue what God has blessed me to be assigned to do and to complete on this earth. And while I'm doing that, while I'm walking along that path, if he's walking along that path as well, we'll just walk along the path with each other and hold hands together and walk off into the sunset.
Right. Yeah.
It's
true. It's really being kingdom minded and like.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's something I wrote down. As I was preparing, and it was consider and ask God, what is your assignment, and understand that the person you get to choose needs to align with your kingdom assignment.
Right.
And something that JP said, which I have to share with you guys, is people often desire marriage, but don't consider the assignment. People often desire marriage, but never consider the assignment. And really, that's just saying, like, you have this desire for love and like to be with somebody, but you are not considering what is the assignment of this marriage. Because it's not just so you having necessarily just children and just like being in love. Like,
right.
It's for a greater purpose.
Right.
To honor God and to glorify Him and to lead people so that they know how to love themselves, how to love each other if they're married, and how to love God. And while you're doing that, God's just going to continue to bless others while your marriage is being blessed by Him, because you're learning how to sacrifice and honor. Man, sacrifice came up a lot too. Sacrifice, man, you don't even know what love is. Love is sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like
the main example of love is Jesus Christ, and He sacrificed
his whole life
for us.
For our sake, because He loved us.
Right.
For God so loved the world that He gave His only Son. Whoever believes in Him
should not perish,
but have everlasting life. John 3:16. Put that on a shirt.
It's on many shirts. So
it already is on many shirts. I don't need another shirt for that. But yeah, so that was my experience. I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, did I meet anybody?
Ooh.
The answer is no. I met people.
You met some folks.
I made a lot of friends.
Yeah. Networking.
Yeah, a lot of that. That was cool. A lot of Instagrams, phone numbers. Yeah, I got to talk to, some people of the opposite sex, but it wasn't like anything that went to another level. It was just very friendly conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I learned how to be around, someone who is open to, that's the thing, is like, I haven't been around anyone in my vicinity or proximity where I live or in my church or whatever you want to call it, or around my friends. I haven't really met anyone, a man that is like, hey, like, I'm available. Like, I'm not saying I haven't, there weren't a few along the way, but like, not any that were like
eligible.
Oh, I see,
Eligible.
Thank you. Eligible.
Yeah.
What does eligible even mean?
Well, to your standards.
Thank you. That's what that means.
Like,
exactly.
I work in insurance, and you need to have certain criteria in order to be covered by this insurance. Mm-hmm. Do you meet the standards? Are you eligible?
Right.
If you're not, then
the requirements.
Right. What are the requirements?
Yeah.
The guidelines here.
And I think I'm learning how to know what are my requirements. Like what are my, not just desires, but like the requirements have to align with the assignment.
Right. But I feel like there are certain requirements that all Christians should have.
Yes.
That not a lot of them are obtaining.
That's good.
Like, you know, like just basic things, you know, like fully devoting your life to the Lord, like in all areas, you know, like, so yeah, there's a lot of lack in the community that we've seen in terms of like male from what we've seen here. So that's why it's been hard to see eligible bachelors because of
sometimes like people have like the spiritual like is like, wow, like you're like love the Lord with all your heart, but then the natural stuff is like it's not there. And I am working on those things. I'm not saying I'm perfect in both, but I know that that's why I have to like embrace myself, embrace what God is doing in my life, and really like focus on progressing. And whatever I'm looking for in someone else, I can't expect something out of someone I'm not willing to like produce, you know?
Right. It's true. Yeah. It's realistic. Like there's like a saying like you're looking for the one, but like you need to become the one kind of thing. So
those requirements I need to have that standard for myself.
Right.
Like I need to be accountable to myself.
Because it's kind of like being a hypocrite. Like
exactly.
I want you to be like this, but like I'm not like this. I'm like,
I feel like honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like I think a lot of women do that.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of women are single, because we have all these standards and requirements, and making these men jump through hoops and trying to juggle like everything and doing all these stuff, and then it's like, girl, like, well, what are you doing?
Right.
And I feel that for a guy out there who's listening or watching, I understand. It's a
lot of pressure on guys too.
I'm sure I was one of those girls, and now I'm waking up like, oh, I have to talk to myself like, Tiff, you need to get it together. And again, being patient with myself, but like also though,
like realistic,
realistic, and be real and not baby myself so much, because I think we can baby ourselves way too much. You letting yourself off the hook, but you're not letting everyone else off the hook. Something wrong with that. Something's wrong with that. And we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that
anymore. We're going to change that. We're not doing that anymore. So this year is a year where it's about sacrifice and being willing to sacrifice so that I can not just get what I want, but so that I can actually become who I want to be.
That's good. Yeah, for sure. It's leveling up.
Level up. Like Sierra said, level up.
Yeah, she said it.
She did. We're not going to sing that right now, though.
Right.
So, yeah.
But no, that's amazing. I'm glad you got that experience. You got some good nuggets and met people and got to see like godly, you know, people like who are looking to date, and Christians, and like, people who have the same mentality. And it's beautiful to see that community like come together. And
it was really awesome. There were so many different people from all different cultures, different backgrounds, countries, many people from Africa, from all over the world. It was quite amazing.
That's amazing. Wow.
Many people from different states.
That's dedication, man.
They drove, they flew, single men coming. I mean, there weren't a lot of guys, but there were enough. And I understand that, because truthfully, let's be real, women are more inclined to go to conferences than men. In my opinion, I don't know, I could be wrong, but we're more inclined to like really like, I don't want to say work on ourselves, because there are men out there really doing it, but I think we are kind of like, we just are built differently.
Yeah.
We're just wired differently to just like go after and do things, because it's just how God made us. And we want to be good helpers, and we're inclined, we want to help. So we will always find a way to like, how can I get better at doing this or help in that? And for men, I pray that some men out there, if you're a guy, you're a Christian man, and you want to have a men's conference, please do it. Like, don't wait. You know, even if you feel like not a lot of men are going to come, please don't think that way. Have faith to believe that many men will come. You know?
Yeah. There's a need.
There is such a need. I think men really need that. Those godly men, brotherhood. We have a group chat called Sisterhood. Like, women
got a lot of sisters around
here. We have a lot of sisters, okay? I have so many group chats, okay? Like, I don't need another group chat. I'm just kidding. I love my group chats. It's fun. I just sometimes have to just put my phone away for a minute. But
yeah, there's a need to be
there's
filled.
a need. Yeah. I'm sure there are some out there. It's not that I'm not saying that there's none. Because I'm not a guy. I don't know.
There are some that I've heard.
Yeah. We just haven't really like been around a lot of men that are godly. And I know they're out there, and that's okay because that's gonna change. And we have faith to believe that the God is gonna wake up men who are gonna desire to have a authentic, genuine relationship with God, and that men are going to continue to be added in number in our churches and in our communities. And I'm excited for when that time comes. So, yeah. So another fun thing that we did was we had a Y2K party. Hey. That was so much fun.
I bet. You guys look so good.
Thank you.
To dress up.
Like, you guys, I did my eyebrows like so thin. I put concealer like all the way up. And like thinned them out. Like, it was awesome. I was very impressed with myself. And very minimal makeup, like the glow in the dark, sparkly, white, crystally colored lip gloss was popping. It stayed on too. I'm actually very impressed.
Wow.
I think it was Maybelline. Thank you, Maybelline.
Hey.
Went to CVS right before and like bought all this like makeup. Maybe it's Maybelline. Yeah, I did. What else did I do? Like, we wore the chokers and put my hair in pigtails, and it was just fun. Like, it was just awesome. Like, flared jeans and little crop top, and just my shades was looking cute. We're looking cute.
Yeah.
It was a fun time, and there were some funny outfits. Like, people really went for it. This girl dressed up as Legally Blonde, like Reese Witherspoon, with her little fake stuffed animal. Chihuahua. Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's so funny.
People dressed up as punk rock, kind of like skater girl, skater boy look, stud pelts and stuff. I wanted a big belt buckle. I didn't get that. That's one thing I didn't get. But yeah, and oh my gosh, like, just, you guys, thin eyebrows, juicy track suits, velour track suits. That's what I like. Yes.
That's so
that would have been my default outfit, but I thought everyone's gonna be wearing them. So I was like, I don't want to be that girl. We had, people had like all that, t-shirts, and it just was a great time. Like, basically our whole childhood. We had ring pops and glow in the dark, those like glow in the dark sticks and necklaces, and I had my butterfly clips and combo snacks and everything that you can think of, they went for it. Like, they really did a great job. Good. Everything was like neon and like just like crazy. But the thing is, within the 2000s, it went so many different directions.
Yeah, that's
so people were because before the trip, we had like a app that you can like talk to people and stuff like that, and people were like, man, the 2000s, there's so many different ways we can go. Like, early, late. Not well, because we're talking about 2000 to 2009, I guess 10. Okay. So it was like in that, but really we were doing more like early Y2K. I think most people, because that was like crazy fashion.
Yeah, it really was.
Because I was,
that's when you can get really fun.
Yes. So good times.
That's great.
Had listened to all the songs and karaoke, and it was just a fun time. Kate and JG, you did a great job with that. So thank you guys. And yeah, I want to have a Y2K party every year now. Like, I just want to have that as a theme, like, for the rest of my life.
I seen that girl recently. Her birthday party was that.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I was like, that's so much fun.
It really is.
I think the birthday party should become more a thing.
I am.
Because they're fun.
Yes, they are fun.
Yeah.
Or even if you like do the same color, everybody was the same color scheme or whatever. Like, yeah. So awesome. But so, girl, I told you all about me. And what about you?
That was your trip. That's good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Did you miss me?
Oh, of course.
It was only 4
I was
days.
there. Like, I was looking.
She really was. I was giving her all the tea.
Yeah. I felt like I was there, honestly. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
But yeah, man, 2 weeks. Whew, I don't even know. Time goes by so fast. But just working and YouTubing and all the things. I'm being consistent with my walking, so that's fun. And then just trying to be more healthy, working out more, be disciplined about that, even if it's like I have no time in the day. You got to find some time. So that's been fun, and it's been nice to like know I'm actually doing something for myself and like making it priority. And then something exciting happened the other day.
What happened?
You know what happened. But I have another YouTube channel with one of my other best friends. It's called Living Truth, and it's where we talk about different topics of the Bible and do different Bible verses and stuff. So we hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yay!
Yeah, the other night. When was it?
Wednesday? This was Wednesday night. Yeah,
Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
So we hit 1,000 subscribers. So that was really nice.
Big
and
deal.
Like, yeah.
You guys don't understand. These ladies work so hard. Like, you guys have so many videos. It's unreal.
Yeah, I think we're at like 500 and almost close to 600 videos. But yeah, it's really nice, like, honestly, because I feel like when you're just plowing, you don't really like notice. And then like, wait, you're like, hold on, we're almost like to this point where we've been talking about this point for like since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice to have that reward. Honestly, it's really encouraging, and the Lord is just faithful. But it really has shown me to be serious and be consistent and disciplined. And it does help like that I am held accountable to another person. Because now that we have this podcast together, like I know like, okay, I'm held accountable to Tiffany. Like if I don't do this, like I want to honor her, and I honor the people that I love. And these two people are two of my best friends. So yeah, it's really helped me in a lot of different ways. And just to know, that like I'm just glorifying the Lord, and I'm being obedient. And I know that people are being touched. Like we've gotten comments of people just like being encouraged and just different things. And it's been really nice to see the fruit of that. So yeah, so that was really exciting. And
that is exciting.
Yeah. So yeah,
got to celebrate you.
Yeah, we celebrated, and
yeah. So many great things that are to come. And I think this just reminding me of like just taking that first step, just starting.
Yeah.
You just don't know like what is on the other side of you saying yes. Like even with this conference that I went to with Kate, she was a single woman. She got married like a couple months ago.
In October of 2022.
That was not that long ago. And she started doing, God told her, start a podcast. And she started it, and she's like, I don't even listen to podcasts. She was mentioning her testimony of how this all came to be. And she's like, I'm looking around and I never saw any of this. This is all God, you guys. And she was just like in awe of like all these people that were there, not for her necessarily, but they were there because they want something for themselves. Right. They want to be able to learn and grow in their single season and in their relationship with the Lord as they're waiting for a promise that they know that God is going to keep. And she believed that for herself, but she had to believe that for herself and honor the Lord. And the Lord has exalted her in this beautiful time where she just said yes to him. Right. She started just like we did with one episode. And look, she's got programs and other things that she's helping people who are walking this through. And she's also helping them build up the body because she has other leaders that are involved who are just serving, giving their time. And you just don't...
There's value in what you have to offer. Yes. Especially when the Lord is in it. Because he wants to use us. Like, if he didn't want to use us, we would not be here.
No.
You have a purpose, and it's for a reason. And there's value in that. But it does take you saying yes and being obedient.
Yes. Not letting fear, even if you are afraid, do it anyway. That's like one of my personal mottos. And I've had to do that many times in my life, especially as I've been a Christian. Mm-hmm. And even leaving, unhealthy relationship and not knowing, like, being afraid, but I'm like, there's got to be something better than this. Like, God's way better than this. Like, for sure. I'd rather do things that seem like, oh my gosh, I don't know, like, is this, and I don't know, I'm kind of not making sense right now. I think I don't know why my brain went back to the past. I think that's what happens when you start thinking about the past and you're like, I'm so far beyond that. Why am I bringing that up right now? But I'm just trying to say that if you're in an unhealthy relationship or you are ready to move forward from your job and you're afraid of what's going to happen, obviously seek the Lord. But listen, I just encourage you, like, if it's something that you are wanting to do that is requiring you to do something you've never done before, and it's something like a podcast, or it's starting to write that first page of your book, or whatever, starting a business, you just don't know what can happen. And everything we see in front of us that has been created started with a thought. It started with an idea
somewhere,
and you need to move forward so you can progress and grow and see yourself in a way that you never thought you'd ever see before. We are often so focused on seeing our circumstances and what's around us, or the people that are in front of us, that we've allowed ourselves to give our attention to, or our jobs or whatever, making this company money, when you over here, you have something that you have a pursuit for, and that idea, that dream that can actually help to finance your future family that you have no idea is going to be waiting for you. And if you do have a heart for marriage and you have a desire, what you're doing now in your single season is preparing for your kids, for your marriage, for your future. It's not just for right now. And so I just think that we have to not think about just like the momentary pleasure or the momentary satisfaction of, I just don't feel like doing it. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'm single. I don't got no worries really, except for myself. Me, myself, and I. Got me, myself, and I. Remember that song? Remember that song? I'ma be my own best friend.
It's really lonely being your own best friend. I'm gonna be real with you.
Kind of, really. Well, yeah. Well, I have you, though.
Yeah, but being your own best friend.
Yeah, like, it really is just.
Sis. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But like we were saying, like thinking about the future and thinking about what could be is having faith.
Yeah.
It really is having faith and knowing that, okay, right now I can't see it. I can't see it right now here, but I can see it in the future, and I can see what God's going to do with it. And it just takes a mustard seed, y'all. A little tiny one.
Yeah. Just
to get going. Because unless your parents are billionaires, everybody started from somewhere.
Come on.
Everybody started from somewhere. And a lot of people don't see the beginning. They see the huge end when the person's already a billionaire, trillionaire.
Right.
But they didn't always start that way. Like, majority of the time, they do not start like that. So you just got to be realistic and know that you just got to do the work sometimes too. Like, push through and have faith. And if God is in it, it is good. And He will not let you down.
Amen. That's so good. Hard work truly does pay off. That cliche will never get old, but it does. You will see the fruits of your labor. You will see the rewards of your hard work. Trusting God and working hard, it produces results.
Right. You will see that fruit if you do not give up.
That's right. And these are eternal. These are eternal.
Amen.
It's not just the natural things that we're trying to achieve and attain. It's the eternal reward of a well done, my good and faithful servant.
Hallelujah. That's the real value. That's what counts.
Yeah, because
at the end of the day, I'm trying to please my Father.
That's it.
Period.
And while I'm pleasing Him, God is so faithful and so gracious that He'll allow me to be successful and be wealthy and have enough that I need for this day.
Right.
But instead of me putting all of my love and trust in a dollar bill that they print every day, that really has no value, that can be burnt up, my eternal reward and treasures in heaven, and that is simply a well done. Well done. You flourished in faith. You trusted me. You loved me. You honored me. And you never went without anything.
Right.
But if you don't work, you won't eat. We can't just be like, Lord, please, I don't know what to do. Well, you're not going to work. Like,
faith without works is dead. And the people in the Bible, they were all talked about because they all did something. They didn't talk about Joe Schmo who just sat there and just prayed and automatically a bunch of stuff just started happening.
Right.
Like, no, these are stories of people who had faith and they were obedient to God and they did what they did.
That's
and
right. That's awesome, girl. Yeah, we're just excited for what's on the other side for us.
Yeah.
And while we're waiting, we're just gonna keep pressing forward and working the plow and trusting God, because there's nothing else that we can do. There's nothing else I want to do. I tried to do things on my own, tried to motivate myself without God, and it just didn't work. In fact, it actually led me to God, if anything, because trying to have motivation, it's not gonna keep you going. It's not. You're not gonna. Your consistency is gonna fall off when you're not when you just don't have something to really motivate you. The most successful people in the world, they had their mom, their kids, something else other than just, I feel like doing this, I can do this.
Right.
Like,
there's a purpose and a why.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your why? And for me, I'm starting to really discover, like, what is that? What is my why for what I'm doing? Yes, it's to glorify the Lord, but let's be more specific.
Right.
And so I'm in this journey of discovering that. And I know that I want my family to be taken care of and everything. And that's very important to me because my family has done so much for me. And I feel like I want to honor and give back. And that's important. But also I want to honor my future family and love and show and honor God while I'm waiting for that, like to honor him. And he can see like, wow, like she really does love me. And she's honoring me with her gifts. She's honoring me with her finances. She's honoring me with how she takes care of her body. She's honoring me with how she speaks. She's honoring me with how she loves. And then that promise, I know it's on the way, but what am I doing to honor God while I'm waiting for the promise?
Right.
That's what motivates me, is to honor God above all else, right? To love him above all else, and everything else will be added unto me. You know,
it's true.
Seeking first his kingdom, his heart, and everything else will be added. And also making sure that I honor him in ways that maybe someone needs to see who doesn't really know how that works. Is it just saying grace before your food, before you eat? What does it mean to honor God? What does it mean to have a relationship with God? And to me, honoring him is by having a relationship with him and really like just being honest with him and loving him and listening to him and following him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you had anything to add to that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
It's like, as long as you are fulfilling, you know, everything you're supposed to be doing, like your purpose, like God is like going to use you for people to look to you as an example. And that's just really like what it is. Like, yes, like you can share the gospel with people, but also it's your lifestyle, like how you live your life is how people can tell like the real fruit, you know? Like, why is Tiffany always so like calm, like, and peaceful, and like, doesn't she understand all the things that are going on right now? Like, I don't understand, like, what is going on? It's the God in you that people are going to notice and be like, okay, wait, like, she goes to church, like, maybe there's something there, you know? Like, it is really like people learn, and personally, I learned by experience, and I learned by what people do, and like, that's just how I learn. Like, I'm a visual person, and that's just the best way that I've been able to learn through other people's experiences and my own. So when people see you, they're like, hold on, like, she doesn't look like everybody else. Like, something's different here. And as you continue to do your purpose and to trust in the Lord and whatever that looks like God is just doing so many things on the outside of that, like on the flip side. Like, and there's a saying that I've been hearing, but it's like, what is it? Like, you saying yes, like, there's somebody waiting for your yes, or there's somebody waiting on the other side of your obedience. And you saying yes to God, like, there's people who are going to be saved, be encouraged, be like, something is going to break for them. They're going to notice, like, you don't know what's on the other side of that yes to God. Like, yeah, that's so good, girl. I actually, going back to the I keep talking about her, but I did send Kate a message, and I told her, like, you showed me like what is on the other side of saying yes to God. And I just told her, thank you so much for that, because it's I'm so thankful for many people in my life that did say yes to God, even when they didn't feel like it. The thing is, we're not always going to feel like saying yes. That's true.
Because the yes, there's a cost to that yes. It's not like, okay, like, it's not gonna mean much, like, it's not gonna cost me much. There is a huge cost to saying yes to God. You know, like, our salvation, it cost Jesus his life.
Right.
And God saying yes for me to enter into the kingdom cost Jesus his life.
Right.
So, while, yes, my Savior, he lives, okay? He's alive. And only he can do that. So thank you, God. But what I'm saying is, for us, being living sacrifices unto the Lord is not just giving up your body as a living sacrifice, but it's your mind, your will, your emotions, like everything about you. Like, you got to say yes to him. And I think it seems very overwhelming for people sometimes, but God is so simple. It just like you say yes to someone you meet. Sure, you want to be my boyfriend? Sure. Yeah. Like, we say yes to a lot of things. Yes to eating that food. Mm-hmm. Yes to driving that car. You faithfully believe you're going to get to work. Like, we say yes. We say yes a lot of the times. Like, all day long, we give our yes to people, to everything.
Yeah, that's true.
And why would we not want to say yes to God? The most important out of all of those things. He's even allowing. He said yes to you waking up this morning. Why don't you say yes back to him? I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's true. It is true because yeah. And what you were saying about like it's a sacrifice, like, and it's hard, like, saying yes to God, because you are fighting your flesh, like you are fighting like your inward desires, and a lot of time it could be prideful, but like what you want to do versus what God is calling you to do. And that can be hard. It just can be, like, because we do. God, he gives us yes. Like, are you sure we're gonna go talk to this person? I don't like this person. Like, what they did. Like, but that's pride, and that's your selfish gain. And like for me, like when God has called me to do something, I'm like, dang it, like, oh no, I don't want to do it. Like, I really be telling God I don't want to do it. Like, but I know if I don't, I'm gonna feel that like I'm gonna feel bad because I let down my God. And there's times when God makes it clear to you and he's telling you, like, you need to move, you need to do this. And a lot of times for me, like, I think about the ending of that. Like, if I say no, then I'm going to feel like crap. Like, I'm going to be real. Because I want to obey God and I want to honor him. But sometimes it's not easy. And sometimes I got to talk to myself in the head and be, like, talking with the Holy Spirit, like, are you serious? Like, but there's so much fruit that comes out of saying yes to God. Like, there just is. Because he knows everything. Like, what do we know? Like, we don't know anything compared to him. So it really comes down to trust, I feel like. Trusting in him.
Yeah. And when you trust him with your yes, you'll find out that, oh, God is faithful. He is so faithful. Yes. I'm so glad I said yes, because if I didn't, oh my gosh, like, what would have happened? And as you say yes one time, you remember for the next time when you have to say yes again, oh yeah, God came through last time. So, all right, I can say yes again. And you just start to record all your yeses, all the times that he's been faithful. And he remembers too. Like, he's not like forgetful about us saying yes and being faithful to obey him. He is so loving, and he literally, he hears every prayer. He is just so amazing. That's all I can say. There was something I was gonna say. Oh, he's so amazing that he gave us free will to choose to say yes to him. I don't know any other God like that, but I'm just saying. Can you just imagine? He knows that you have the potential to say yes or no, and he still loves you anyway, and he's still gonna be faithful anyway.
Okay, we're gonna switch gears a little bit. And I want to talk about something that's been happening in the past couple of weeks in my life. So I have been on a Christian dating app. I've been on two, but mainly one. And I've been meeting some Christian guys, and it's been interesting. Yeah, it's been
keyword
fun. What? Highlight interesting and capitalize it. But yeah, it's
Tell me about your experiences so far. Well, tell the people about your experiences so far.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be real. So there's a lot of guys on there who I personally don't believe they're ready for what the purpose of the app is. So this specific app, it's called Holy. And it has two versions. It has a dating side, and then it has a friend side. And a lot of the guys on the dating side should be on the friend side. I'm just being honest, because there's Like, you fill it out. Like,
Yeah.
if there's any Christian people who are watching, hopefully, but
it's a good app.
It's a really good app. And if you want to take that path and, try it out, if you don't like it, whatever, move on. It's not that deep. Let's be real. Because I took a long time to get on here because I was just being way too dramatic, in my personal opinion, for myself. This is not that deep. But anyways, if you want to check it out, definitely check it out. It's pretty cool. But they ask you certain questions that you can fill out answers so people can read your profile and see if they're interested in you. So there's a section where it says reach out if, and you can write like reach out, like basically what you're looking for. And some of these guys are like, oh, reach out if you want to have fun conversations and be friends. Sir, you're on the wrong side of the app. So that for me is like kind of like a waste of time because like I'm on here for a reason, and my reach out if is I'm looking for a serious relationship that leads to marriage. That's literally what it says because that's what I'm looking for. And so anyways, it's just swiping through, filtering out. Like I said, there's a lot of guys who I feel like are not there yet. So that's that. And then just a lot of younger guys, and then just looking for friends and fun and whatnot. And so that's been interesting. And then there has been this one guy. He is, I don't know him, but long story short, he's trying to play around. And
he is.
He is making jokes about like abstinence and like talking about how attractive I am and all these things. And I'm like, boy, bye. Like, you think I'm boo-boo the fool? Like,
what was one thing he said?
He said, I will say it.
Yeah, please, I want them to hear it.
Because, Lord.
Wow.
He said, mind you, this is a Christian dating app, okay? So he basically said, we got on the lines of abstinence. And I was like, oh, well, how long have you been abstinent? And he was like, oh, he said, for about a year, but that's because you weren't around. And I said,
you guys, did you hear what she just said?
Sir, who says, you think you got it like that I'm just going to go sleep with you? We're not going to do that.
It's flirting, but it's not in a way that's like polite. Like that's,
mind you, this guy is a cop.
Oh.
In a local area. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I don't have him on any social media so he can't find this. But even if he can't, I don't care.
Whatever.
Because that's ridiculous. So I did not respond after that. And then he messaged me like this was like a couple weeks ago, and then he messaged me again, and I was like, hope you have a great day. But I was like, let me be nice and respond. Like, have a great day too, whatever. And then he asked, I'm saying the whole detail of the
just
message,
say it.
But
say
I don't
it, girl.
care. And then he was like, oh, what are you doing today? And I replied, and I was like, what about you? And he was like, wishing I was with you. And I was like, we're not going to do this. Exiting the chat. Boy, what are you talking about? How old? Mind you, like, you are not in your young 20s to be acting like this. This is crazy. So that was one of the most like wildest experience I've had so far, probably.
Wow.
But yeah, it's been fun. I've had some good conversations with other guys too. It's just no chemistry, and that's okay. But yeah, it's been cool to have that option.
Yeah.
And
no, it's good. I was kind of on there a little bit, and then it just became really distracting for me. So I got off, and it's hard to maintain communication sometimes because people are not on the app, or I'm busy, I'm not on the app. And I guess it's okay because really you're not giving them your number and like getting to know them like that because you don't want someone who you don't want to have. You don't want to talk to someone that you don't want to have your number. So I think it's a good way to keep things very like separate from your like personal.
Right. It is.
I don't know how to say that
because
right.
it's not all of, like, you don't have to put your social media on there if you don't want to and stuff. So yeah.
So it's good it is good to like kind of just test the waters and see like, okay, what do I like? What do I not like?
Yes, for sure.
That's a good way to really kind of gauge yourself and see like, what are you looking for?
I agree. Yeah, because a lot of times you don't really know unless you're out there like looking. And yeah, it does help a lot to be like, oh, maybe not this.
You gotta see what fish are in the dating pool, you know?
Yes. And there's some fish out there. I'll be honest. I was surprised.
Big fish or little fish?
Just fish. I'm not gonna
You're being you're being so like whatever like cute right now. I can't think of a word.
Just fish.
Okay.
God's children. I have to think that way.
That's right. See, that's the part for me that she knows. I know. I have to work on being open. And I think I used it and it was good for me to kind of try to be open to like not be boxing in anyone and like not giving anyone a chance kind of a thing. So because I'm very big on like being attracted to someone and but I learned at the conference also that that's like the last thing that you should like it's important, but there's JP Pokluda, he basically gave us an illustration of like a hand, and so like each finger had like a different quality that you should be focused on when you're in dating and everything and what you should be looking for. And the last one was attraction, because really looks fade, and to his point. And so like really that's not what the first thing that you should be focused on. You should be focused on like their heart, their character, how they communicate. Are they committed? Are they serious about commitment and understanding covenant? I wish I could remember all the acronyms and all the things I can't think of right now. But I remember the last one was attraction, because like your pinky, you don't really use it for much, you know. You just,
that's a good example.
Your thumb though, you need that thumb and you need that pointer finger.
That's true.
But anyway, if I can, I will try to share it in our stories or something on Instagram, because it was actually very good. I know communication was one of them, commitment and connection or something like that. Yeah, which is basically chemistry without calling it chemistry, because chemistry is kind of a word that we throw around a lot. But chemistry is good, but he was saying too that you can have chemistry with anyone, you know, because you know you can have chemistry in friendships too. It's not what's gonna sustain a healthy marriage relationship. So
right,
yeah.
Yeah, and I will say, if you are thinking about like getting on these apps and stuff, just guard your heart and your mind, and don't think that like the whole expectation thing.
Hey, buy some of your husband,
right? Like this is just an opportunity, and hey, you never know what will happen. But yeah, just keep have an open mind, and yeah,
you might make some new friends.
Yeah.
That's great, because you never know who those friends could lead to. You know, you never know what can happen. But our expectancy really should just be like, God, I'm expecting to just grow, learn about who I am and how I communicate with other people or the opposite sex, and just like learn how to navigate like this world of dating as a Christian. So
yeah,
it's a different world.
It is.
Do you feel like it's harder because we have these standards? Or is it like, because it's already like more, there's already more women than men, like the ratio in the world. So there's already not enough men anyway. So that's a good place to start off, right? No. And then you think about, okay, now we're scaling down. Now I'm a Christian woman. So now that's even way less, trying to find a Christian man. So you understand where I'm going with it, kind of?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think we just have to be like understanding, like we can be expectant for God to do the unexpected, but we also have to like not put all these expectations on any guy that we meet or anyone, because we shouldn't be desperate, oh, there's not many out there, I gotta get what I can.
Yes,
and
don't settle and don't be desperate.
No.
And you know what? I feel like this proves for the girls, for the ladies. If you're ladies, let me tell you that. Whatever she said. For the ladies, the reality is that God is writing your love story, and He's gonna send you your husband, because it's slim picking out there. So
it has to be God.
It literally has to be God. So you might as well do yourself a favor and wait and trust, because you're trying to scramble and do things yourself. You're gonna be bent and like exhausted and spent and all the things. Just trust God, because it's most likely gonna come from it. Like He's gonna set it all up.
Yes.
Because
it can come from you, because you will lead yourself into settling for the first Christian guy you meet that's kind of cute, that might have some more issues than you think, that you want to handle. And then also you might settle for someone who is kind of like I believe in Jesus, but you know, he's my homie and everything, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Believe in a higher power.
I believe in a creator, the higher power. Like, no.
If you ain't saying the name of Jesus, red flag.
Got to go. Gotta go. We're not doing that.
Right.
So I think like we can't allow our feelings, our emotions to lead us to settle for someone who is kind of okay. Because just being with a Christian man in general, like being married in general, like it's a process. It's not always easy. because it's just life. Like, relationships are not easy. There are things you have to work on.
Yeah, it's work.
Yeah, both of you have to work to decide, like, work to be committed to do this and
Right.
to help this marriage and this relationship grow and be the best that it can be. And yeah, so if that's something that you desire, like, again, going back to, we got to work on ourselves and our own relationships with the Lord. And I don't want to wait so long and settle just because I was feeling kind of like desperate. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I've been desperate before being a Christ follower. I don't want to be desperate after.
Yeah, it's true.
Because desperation got me nowhere. Got me a bunch of heartache, a bunch of pain. You know?
Yeah.
I had to let it burn, like Usher said.
Oh.
I think that you should let it burn. We've been singing a lot of old songs lately, so
yeah,
it's been fun though.
Yeah, it has been fun.
Throwbacks. Yeah. So, man, okay. Let's just say it. We're looking forward to what is next.
You know, we're here. You and I are here.
Were you thinking the same thing?
I was thinking the same thing.
Like, I don't want people to think that I'm like, no, like, I want people to be encouraged. Okay, I'm encouraged, and I'm excited for what's next in my life. Married sooner or later. I'm just literally the other night, I'm like, Lord, you know what? I was worshiping my head, not my head, but I was listening to a worship song before bed, and I was just like, God, you're just so wonderful. You know those moments you're like, you're all I need, God.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord, if I don't get married, it's okay. And I'm like, did I just say that? I did just say that. And I'm like, wow, I am really growing. And I've said that before, but I really feel like, you know, the more I'm saying it, the more I'm meeting it. The more I'm growing, the more I'm learning about myself and the Lord. As I'm growing my relationship with the Lord, and as the years have gone by, I'm like, really, I'm just content.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because it sounds good, because anyone could say anything that sounds good. I really genuinely believe that, and I mean that. And to get to this place, you guys, it took work. It took trusting the Lord. And I think it is so much easier, though, when you have friends that are running this race with you, alongside of you. It would be a lot harder if you were married, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's a different dynamic. And yeah, having people to relate to things is like, it's really encouraging to know that you're not alone. Because even though, yes, we trust in God, but it, like, he gives us each other to help us and to encourage us. And because there are times when it's harder than most times. And maybe you're feeling a little like, dang, it's been so many years. God. You get to point like, how many years now? Each year comes by and you're like, okay. But yeah, it is so special. And like, we've both said this before, but like, we know that God is going to bless us like with our husbands, because like he's blessed us with each other and our friendships. And those have been like magical. Like, I'm talking like straight out the movie. Never would have thought could happen. Relationships and friendships with people. And it's only God, because only he can do it. Because on us on our own, we like, no, we can't do that. So I've never had that. Besides being a Christian, I have never had that outside of that. So yeah, God is just gonna add, and but it has been very fruitful and beautiful to have best friends.
Listen, I am so content with my girls, and I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful. I also think for anyone, I feel like I need to touch on this, but for myself, I'm trying not to focus on my age. You know, I am in my early 30s, and I'm just trying not to focus on that number. And it's, when people ask like, how old are you? I'm like, huh? It's like, oh, I have to tell them again. Like, it makes me feel like, and I shouldn't be like that. I know I shouldn't. I should be like, I'm proud of this. I am what I am, and that's how old I am.
Yeah.
But I think having like younger friends, that helps me. But then sometimes I'll be honest, like I'll be like, you know, sometimes like, oh, well, what if I was their age? Like maybe, you know, I'd have more time to, I don't know what. Sometimes I think like, oh man, like what if I was their age right now? Like, man, like I would still be, I don't know. It's just, I haven't processed that. So I'm not going to process this right now with y'all in front of the camera. But yeah, it's just something I think about, and I try to like not let my mind go there, because it wants to go there. But just remember like the prom, and they're so great. Like they love me, and they always tell me like, no, don't focus on that. Like, God, he's not, he can do anything at any time, and anything can happen in a month, a day, a year. Like, and also like looking at the Kate Tolan, like, and how she's like, she's also in, I believe, yeah, she is in her 30s as well, and her husband's a little bit younger, but yeah, like it can happen for anyone.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, that gives me hope when I hear testimonies and stories of people who are in, just a little bit older. And
and so, like, the whole age thing, like, that's just such a worldly thing.
Yeah.
Because God used people when they were like 80 years old. Like,
yes.
90 years old to have a kid. Like, what?
Very true.
Like, that's not normal in the world. But, like, the world has, like, expectations. And, or, like, when I was younger, I thought I would be married at, like, 23, 24 and have kids and, like, have all these things. It's like, well, no, it's not, everybody's story is different. And what God wants to do with you is different. And your story is going to bless people, because people are going to be able to look up to you and be like, wow, like, look at her. Like, if she can do it, I can do it. If she can be content with just God and not running to guys left and right, like, I can do it. And even when you do get married, like, that's going to be a whole nother testimony. And especially with your husband, and like, he's going to be able to like share it. So it's all for God's glory, and God's going to use it. And yeah.
So thank you for that, girl. I appreciate that. I'm so glad that I have you to encourage me, because that helps a lot. And I know that it will encourage someone else if you're out there and you're watching and you are a man or you're a woman and you are a little bit older and you're like, okay, God, like, when is this going to happen though? Just remember that, like, we always, something that helps me is like, marriage isn't necessarily like forever. Like, on this side, like, when we're going to be with our Savior in heaven, like, we're not necessarily going to be thinking about, oh, like, I want to be married. And it's like, no, I'm with my bridegroom, Jesus. Like, he is it. He's it.
Right.
And I should be thinking like that now, which is what, again, that sanctification that's happening, that I gotta let my mind be sanctified, and just like, okay, like, don't think about that. Like, remember, like, your hope that you have is in Jesus, and like, he is it. He's your bridegroom. And so that's what I'm thinking. And God is just so wonderful and so faithful and so generous that he will allow us to have relationships and be married and everything. But they're just not the main thing. He is the main thing. And he's who I want to continue to have my heart married to. So, yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I know about Jesus is he is our Redeemer. Yes. He redeems everything. And for the time that you think you may have lost, he can make that up in a nanosecond. Like, he is that glorious, that good. So, yeah, he redeems everything.
Yeah. If you don't know, like, my story personally is like, I was in a relationship for a long time, for a majority, like, basically, like, more than half of my 20s. So, yeah, that's, if you're someone who was in a relationship and you were in your early 20s and you just, or maybe you're all your 20s, maybe you were married at one point, you got divorced, or whatever your situation might be, I just want you to know that there is hope. And like Kat just said, like, redemption, it belongs to the Lord. Like, he is the one who holds the keys to unlock redemption in your life. And I know that God has redeemed me in so many ways. Obviously, he saved my soul, and I'm so grateful for that. He redeemed my soul, but I also know that he's redeeming some time that maybe I felt like I lost when I was in my former days. And I was chasing youthful lusts, but now I'm so grateful that God has wiped those sins away, and now I am a new creation in Christ Jesus.
Hallelujah. All right, guys. Well, that is it for today's episode 8. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you have enjoyed it. Hope it blessed you. Hope it encouraged you. And yeah, we're really happy to be doing this, and we're grateful for your support and all the encouragement as well.
We love you guys, and we just can't wait to see you in the next episode. Just be sure to check us out on YouTube. If you're watching us, thank you so much. If you're listening to us, thank you so much. And you can check us out on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as well. We love you, and be sure to continue to keep up with us. We'll be sharing and posting much more. And yeah, we love you. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.